Hello and welcome back everyone to Foxboro's Fortress.
This is Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Brought to you by Leading Lights, LLC.
Hello and welcome back everyone to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Once again, I'm Cecil Kenny. It's just me. I think this is the third time in a row someone took Cameron to get his schedule straight. Or Raphael, for that matter. Or Rev's recap to clear their schedule for my appearance. I'm just joking. Anyways, the Revolution crashed out of the U.S. Open Cup 4-3 to Orlando City, who played a surprising amount of their MLS starters. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And after that, we'll go to break with Leading Lights LLC before not breaking down, but looking ahead to the Revolution's match against Charlotte FC at Gillette, headed back home officially on Saturday. We'll be seeing this. So, let's get right into that Orlando City match. And it was an interesting match. We'll start there. We probably should have won. We didn't have the most glamorous lineup. It was mostly guys. I shouldn't say mostly. These are Rev's two guys. Donovan Parisian, starting goalkeeper. With McIntosh, it's actually McIntosh. I always get that wrong. I do apologize. McIntosh and Dolan starting at the fullbacks, with Andrew Farrell and Tanner Beeson at center back, with Cristiano Oliveira, Eric Klein, and Alan Oyerwath in the midfield, with Diego Fagundes, Marco Sembrano, and Malcolm Fry finishing out the starting 11. Guys in the bench: J.D. Gunn, Schneider Mimi, Chris Mbaya Sem, Masenden Sasaki Da, and also Carlos Sembrano. To my knowledge, not related to Marcos. But that being said, it was back and forth, as you can tell by, the score. Malcolm Fry strikes first in the 21st, then Iago from Orlando, who does start for them normally. Iago, excuse me, is a consistent starter for them, scores his first goal for the club. We'll talk about that now, actually. They started Iago, Griffin Dorsey, both Ojedas, and Angulo in that starting lineup, with Tyrese Spicer, who does play a bit for them, along with Jansen. They all made appearances, and I think I was saying this before, the reason why they played a ton more MLS guys than the Revolution, obviously the Revolution needed this rotation, but Orlando City has nothing to play for at this point. We're before the World Cup. They still have a chance in the league, but they're sitting, 14th in the East? It's not looking good for them, so they need something here. And they see the Open Cup, hey, we're one game away from the quarters. We could pull off this upset, and we could easily, if we play our guys, we could pull this upset off and possibly make a run in this Open Cup. So with the Revolution starting mainly Rev's two guys, with the exception of Farrell, Beeson, and Diego Fagundes, Orlando City is set up for success. Now, with that being said, it wasn't so straightforward. As, like I mentioned, Malcolm Fry struck first, went Iago in the 31st, went to Andrew Farrell. He scored himself a goal. The scenes, the madness, the magic of the cup. Andrew Farrell, at 34 years of age, scoring in the U.S. Open Cup before halftime. The joy doesn't last long, though, as Griffin Dorsey scores in the 40th minute to tie the game going into half 2-2. Marco Sembrano scores his first goal as a New England Rev in the 58th before Ellis for Orlando City is able to equalize, and then in 90+2, Tafai of Orlando City manages to bring back and take Orlando City's first lead of the match and buries the New England Revolution. And it was a hard-fought match. I think we can all agree. The defense giving up 4 goals doesn't look fantastic, but you have Gabe Dolan getting himself an assist. You have Andrew Farrell scoring. You have 2 assists by Eric Klein. Eric Klein's a name I want to watch for the Revolution first team going forward. We've seen him cameo in the first team for some time now, last few matches, but I wouldn't be surprised to see at some point very, very soon we see not Andrew Farrell, my apologies. We see Yusuf on the wing, and you see a defensive midfield pairing, if Polster's still out and Jackson can't play, of Eric Klein and Brooklyn Reigns. That's something I'm not against, because Eric Klein seems like a very good player. Cristiano Oliveira isn't that same type of player. He's more central, maybe even more attacking. Klein sits back more of that defensive role from what I've seen. And Oyerwath sits more, I'd say he plays CDM, but he has that ability to play centrally and even attack. And so I find him and Oliveira decently similar players. I'm not completely caught up with Revs 2, but I'd say Eric Klein is, in my opinion, the hottest name to watch from Revs 2 at the moment. You had Gabe Dolan there, as I mentioned. I think he's the close second there. The thing there, Klein, Oliveira, Oyerwath, Fry, and obviously Zambrano, along with McIntosh and Parisian, are all signed to first team deals. So they're not really with Revs 2. They're with the first team. But if we really look at it from where they're playing as of now, Eric Klein's the name to watch for me. Now, should the Revs have won this based on possession? No. Based on shots? Yes. We can. If you want to go by statistics, you can. I'm honestly happy with the amount of shots we got. It's a stark contrast from the 10 we get. It's a decent medium between what Revs 2 has been getting and what the first team is getting. B team's been getting 20, 25 shots a game. 25 is a stretch, but I'd say anywhere from 17 to 22 for Revs 2. And the first team is scratching 10, maybe 12. And so it's a different look. It's a look I like. 22 touches in the opposition box is something to highlight there. Orlando had 30. I'd like to get that number up, but it's not a bad number at all. So, what do I take away from this? Fantastic showing by Revs 2. As a squad that was practically completely built by Revs 2, I am blown away by that performance. They managed to just about, they didn't outplay, they led and had the advantage for majority of the match when Orlando was starting one of their starting center backs, 2 of their starting fullbacks, so both starting fullbacks, starting midfielder, and Ojeda, who's, their big 10 matches, 4 goals in MLS. He's their main guy. So he's not even him. This is a fantastic showing by Revs 2. I'm very excited by this performance. We know that Revs 2 has been succeeding under Pablo Moreira, and I don't think that will change anytime soon. With especially how they played against Orlando. So, looking now, if the Revs didn't rotate completely, I think we handily win this game. But we had no first team options on the bench. Orlando brought on Spicer. They brought on Jansen. They had Crepeau on the bench. Goalkeeper doesn't really matter there. But the Revolution, not one first team guy. Not even a guy other than JD Gunn. No one signed to a first team deal. We need depth. That's what that shows. We need depth. We want the option to, hey, we're hanging in this game. You want to progress in the Open Cup. Sub somebody on that can make a difference. So that's really something that I think needs to be targeted very, very soon. Because we needed reinforcements off the bench, and we didn't really get that. So that's kind of where that's at. Now, after running the calculations for Foxboro's five-a-side, I'll bring that to you right now. I, Cecil, finished with a 6.54. Parisian was my goalkeeper, who's also my captain. He didn't do the greatest as letting up 4 goals. Ended up with a 4.6 with the captain's armband. I will be changing the captain rules post-World Cup, so keep an eye out for that. I also had McIntosh, Eric Klein, Zambrano, and Brian Ojeda. So, 6.54. Cam, he had Otero, Beeson, Fagundes, Spicer, who had a 7.8 off the bench, along with Oliver, his captain, who goes to an 8. He finishes with a 6.86 and beats me in 5-a-side. You hate to see it, really. That puts me, after 11 matches, I'll update the tally now. It's not looking pretty. I dropped to 2-9. Cam jumps to 5-2. It's not looking good for me. We'll go to my man of the match and predictions. Cam, we'll start with his. We both had 2-0 New England. He had Zambrano in the 11th and Oliveira in the 78th. Obviously, Zambrano scored. I had 2-0 New England. Fagundes in the 49th, Zambrano in the 78th. We both had Zambrano scoring. Just needed that last piece. And also the Revolution to win and to score a lot more than 2 goals in the match. So, that's it. But I'm giving my man of the match to Eric Klein. Man, I thought he was outstanding. He was fantastic. 2 assists. I can't think of anybody else to give it to. My honorable mention goes to Zambrano because of that goal. So, that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, really wish the Revs kind of had that depth to then be able to win this match. But we didn't. The updated tally, like I said, I'm 2-9. Cam's 5-2. Raphael is 2-0, and then Sam Latzoff and Abe Doubleday Bush of the Dry Powder Pod are both 1-0. Yeah, and we had some more there, so keep with me. We'll check on over to Leading Lights LC, sponsor the podcast. I'll be right back to talk about the Charlotte FC match on Saturday.
Unlock the power of your platform data with Leading Lights, experts in transforming raw numbers into compelling benchmarks. Leading Lights helps a variety of companies turn insights into engaging stories that drive growth. Elevate your brand with data-driven content that captivates your audience and sets you apart from the competition with Leading Lights. Visit their website at leadinglights.io to see how you can transform your platform data.
Hello, back one to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Once again, Cecil Kenny here. It's just me today. We got Charlotte FC is who your New England Revolution play this coming Saturday. When you will see this, it will be Saturday. So they sit 2 points behind the New England Revolution, 5th place in the East, 0 goal difference. Revolution are +5, believe it or not. Revolution also have a game in hand on Charlotte. Keep that in mind, as we had to reschedule the Houston Dynamo match from earlier this season. They kicked off their season with a 1-1 draw to St. Louis before dropping 3-0 to the LA Galaxy, bouncing back against Austin 3-1 before drawing Miami 0-0. They demolished Red Bull 6-1. Furthering the win streak, a 2-1 win over Philadelphia before dropping to Nashville 2-1 before Open Cup play commenced, and they won 6-0 over Charlotte Independence before going for another 2-game win streak, beating NYCFC 2-1, But now they're on a 3-game losing streak, losing 4-1 to Orlando, who the Revolution, practically their B team, just lost 4-3-2. Nashville SC, they dropped 2-1 or 4-2, and then they just lost in the Open Cup to Atlanta United 2-0. So it's been an up and down year, to say the least. They started off a little bit shaky with 4 points through 3 matches, which isn't awful, but they're hoping for better. This is a side that has some very good players. They've got Kerwin Vargas. They brought in Archie Goodwin. They brought in Pep Biel. But their main guy is Wilfried Zaha. He's their star. They've also got Westwood. They've got Toffolo. But all eyes are going to be on Wilfried Zaha in this match. And for Revolution Recap's sake, you gotta hope he does, as he was their first pick. I called them up 4-5-a-side, and they helped me out. So the 5-side goes like this. Wilfried Zaha was picked first by Greg Johnstone of Revs Recap. I followed that up with taking Turner, and then Carlos Hill, They took Pep Biel and Luca Langone just after that, before I pick Fofana and Terjman. They closed out their draft with Kalina, the Charlotte keeper, and Will Sands, or Stans, because we are Will Stans. And then I finished mine off with my guy, Al Hassan Yusuf. I'm going to captain, give me Carlos Hill as my captain. They ended up captaining Will Sands. They captained Will Sands because they are Will Stans. Got it there. Yeah. It's an up and down Charlotte side. You never know which version of Charlotte you're going to get. Similar to the Revolution. As you're looking at the schedule, hey, I was saying this earlier on the year, hey, what Revolution side are we going to get? Are we going to get the Revolution side that won 6-1 against Cincinnati? Or are we going to get the side that lost 3-1 to St. Louis? Or 4-1 to Nashville? Which Revolution side are we going to get? And so, in my opinion, this Charlotte team is the most evenly matched side in MLS to the Revolution right now. This is going to be a close contest just through the quality that Charlotte have, and they're trying to bounce back. They've gone on a 3-game losing streak, and now this is their last game before going on a 5-game at home streak, one of which is actually after the World Cup. So they'll close out 4 games before the World Cup, all at home. One of which is against the Revolution again. So we'll play them. Then we'll meet them again the match before we go to the World Cup break. This is a side that the Revolution need points against. Now, I see the Revolution grabbing themselves a 2-1 win over Charlotte. I think the Revolution have it in them. And, I'm excited to see what this side can put up against a team that I believe is the most evenly matched for them. We do have a comment from Paulo S. Didn't mind the lineup choices. The boys did good. Almost pulled off a big upset. I completely agree. I said this a ton earlier. And, yeah, they did fantastic. I don't think I said that enough, honestly. The Revolution B team almost pulled off an upset against an MLS squad. That's a great thing to say. And I'm excited to hopefully see that the B team can continue to succeed, and that this gives, a push to the first team as well. and that this entire organization is seeing a step up under Marko Mitrovic and Paulo Moreira and this youth movement that we're seeing. I think we're in good hands for right now. Now, could this very much change in the window? Yes. Turner, we need to figure that out. Still need to bring in a winger. Probably need to sharp a few other things. Get some striker depth that is very solid and you're willing to play consistently. But right now, I'm impressed with the side that the Revolution have put together. And I'm not counting them out anytime soon. The Revolution, after this Charlotte FC match, before the World Cup, we'll talk about, after the World Cup, just before the end of the World Cup. After we play Charlotte, we play Philadelphia at home, Nashville at home, Minnesota at home, before going on the road to play Charlotte again before we go to the World Cup break. We were talking on Rev's recap about how many points we need out of this. I think we need at least one win against Charlotte. We need a win against Philly. We need at least a point out of Nashville, but I think we're going to drop that match. So I see, what's that, 3, that's 6. I think we get a point out of Minnesota, 7. And then I think we win the other Charlotte match. That gets us to 10. That's a lot. I think realistically, we'll end up drawing Charlotte once, winning against Charlotte once, so that's 4 points. And then we win the Philly match, and then we drop the Nashville match. We either drop the Minnesota match or we draw the Minnesota match. It's 7-ish points. 8 points, I believe. I'm trying to do this on my head. Win out of order. Either way, 7 or 8 points out of this stretch. At least 6. But 7 to 8 is the number I'm looking for out of the Revolution for this stretch. Charlotte's going to be a tough side to beat, but I think it's very much doable for this Revolution side. With that being said, though, I wish I had, someone to talk to on here. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you aren't already following, make sure you're following us on X and Instagram at Foxboro's Fortress. Make sure you're following on whatever platform you get your podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. If you want to be featured in the next episode of Lake Paulo S, make sure to respond to our posts. We put them out on all platforms to join, throw your opinions, throw your thoughts, questions in our mailbag, and we'll talk about them during the next episode. Appreciate Leading Lights LLC for sponsoring this episode. Viking Sports MA doing the 5-a-side. Appreciate y'all. Next episode. At this point, we never know, but the nice thing is the Revolution, unfortunately, obviously we crashed out of the Open Cup. We don't have a midweek match, so regular posting schedule for next week looks likely. We'll record the Sunday after the Revolution versus Charlotte match, where we'll break down that match and we'll look ahead to the who's next. Philly is what I believe I saw. Philadelphia sounds right. I'm gonna stick with my yes. Yeah, we play Charlotte and then we go to Philadelphia when we play Philadelphia at home. Talk about that, and then I think we go back to midweek because the Nashville match is a midweek match. We'll talk about that when we get to it. That's going to be a tough match, especially against Nashville. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. With that being said, though, it's just me again, so I'll end it off with saying the best line. This was Foxboro's Fortress.